Hello and welcome. You are watching Business Plus here on News 9 Live. I'm Krishna Kumar and joining me in the studio is Mr. Sridharan Ramakrishnan. Thank you so much for being with us, Sri. Of course, we are discussing three things: corporate, cricket and crisis. That 22-second clip of Lucknow Super Giants owner Sanjiv Goenka having a showdown with the team's captain Rahul after that heavy defeat the Lucknow team faced against Sunrisers Hyderabad. That controversy continues to rage on and we are getting deeper and deeper into it right here on News 9 Live. It was a 22-second clip, no audio even. All we could see are the hand gestures and the facial expressions between Sanjiv Goenka, the owner of Lucknow Super Giants franchise, and Rahul, the captain of the team. That clip continues to generate so much talk, so many questions being asked. Is that how those conversations are held on the cricketing field, even before anything else is being discussed, right after the cricket match? Is that how a team's owner speaks to a team's captain, not any random person, the captain of the team, a person who plays for the Indian national cricket team, a key member of the Indian national cricket team, albeit not being selected for the upcoming T20 World Cup, has played all three formats of the game? Is that how somebody deals with that situation? Somebody who is a personality from the cricketing field, a personality from the corporate world. Is that how owners of franchises, of sporting franchises, deal with the players? And to understand it better, I have Sri with me. Sri, that 22-second clip continues to generate conversation 48 hours down the line, simply because, starts with the problem: auction. The owner thinks in the auction you buy the player, not realizing the fact that in the auction you buy the franchise and you buy the rights to have a player in your team, and that's about it. But this one seems like a master-slave relationship, isn't it?
Absolutely, Krishna. This is 22 seconds of shame for Indian cricket. There's no other way to put it. And this is so wrong at so many different levels. First of all, like you said, Mr. Goenka is a team owner.
Yeah.
He doesn't own the players.
Yeah.
Number two, he's not the coach. You can accept a coach dressing down the player because there's a certain moral authority they bring to it. As a coach, you take a raw person and you shape them to bring out the best in them. You're actually doing them a favor when you drive them, you push them. But as an owner, if you're berating the captain of the team just because the team, lost, that's a different level. What moral authority do you have? Just because you're writing a check doesn't mean that you have the right to publicly give a dressing down to the captain of the team. And absolutely not. This is unacceptable. What Mr. Goenka has done is actually set a very bad precedent. I hope other owners will not follow suit. I'm pretty sure, because if you look at the other teams, you have such wonderful owners. Even his elder brother, Mr. Harsh Goenka, is always considered such a gentleman in the corporate world. If you look at his tweets also, he's a nice person that, people want to respect genuinely. But
with a good sense of humor.
Absolutely. Yeah. And with this incident, I think Mr. Goenka, Sanjiv Goenka, has taken himself down several notches in the eyes of people who otherwise would have respected him as an entrepreneur who's created some successful companies.
Let me ask you this, Sri. In a corporate boardroom, when things don't go right, you have those heated conversations when how come something did not go right. You've been a founder of a couple of startups. When you are sitting together discussing something goes wrong, you have those heated conversations. But they always happen behind closed doors. They don't happen in the cricketing field. Mr. Sanjiv Goenka, of all people, knows the number of cameras that are there on the field. How did he let himself go when he knows everything is the big question? Just because he paid a record sum to get the franchise of over 7,000 crore rupees?
Absolutely. So, Krishna, whether it is a company or a sports team, things go wrong all the time. They have to go wrong, right? So, whether you come back as a winner depends on how the leader of that team, deals with that company or the sports team. If you're only into bullying, berating, demeaning your team members, then the whole team is going to be disheartened. Can you inspire your team? Can you give them respect? Can you talk to them privately and not personalize the issue? Can you talk about what could have been done better? What is the sort of feedback that you give? So one would expect that as a seasoned entrepreneur, as a corporate leader, Mr. Goenka, who obviously has many CEOs reporting into him, obviously should know better. And like you said, there are 1,000 cameras everywhere on the stadium. So this is the last thing he should have done. Anything like this should be done in private. And not in this fashion at all, of course. You know, because he's first not a coach. He's just a team owner. He doesn't know how to play the game. He's got the money, he's bought a team, but he's not an expert in cricket.
Right. You know, you spend a fair amount of time in the US. This doesn't happen in baseball. This doesn't happen in basketball. This doesn't even happen in such a high voltage sport like ice hockey.
True.
The owner never ever steps onto the pitch to have a conversation with the player or the coach. In fact, in that 22-second clip, there's another 10-second clip where you can see him doing the same thing to Justin Langer, the coach of the team as well. So this doesn't happen anywhere else in the world, does it?
Absolutely. In the US, the coach is the last word when it comes to the team. The owner doesn't get involved. Okay, the owner can have a say in terms of who comes in, who doesn't. But in terms of once you selected the team, the performance, and what you do with that particular team, how they play, who plays what down, it's all decided by the coach. It's not done by the owner. So I think Mr. Goenka has very clearly overstepped his authority as an owner, and it's really a sad day for Indian cricket.
That's why I want to take this back to that entire term that's being bandied about, the corporatization of cricket. You know, that is definitely meant that a lot of money gets pumped into the game. You have so much more talent, a great talent pool in India because of a platform like IPL, because a platform like IPL exists because so many team owners pumped in so much money. And it's good. I mean, let's not face it, the money is always good when it gets pumped into a sport. But that can't lead to this, can it?
No, not at all. See, corporatization means you are able to stage a game in a much bigger fashion, market it better, create a bigger fan following, monetize it better. Those are the good things about corporate. Corporate doesn't mean that you treat your team, players badly. Or you reduce the level of communication or the way you deal with your team members. That is certainly not what corporatization is about. Corporatization has many positive aspects. We've seen that with many other teams. I don't want to name any other specific teams, but you see that a lot of corporate owners own good teams and they're doing very well and they're loved. So now the risk with this kind of a behavior, which Mr. Goenka has now shown to the world, now tell me if you're a really good performer, who's like, hot commodity in the cricketing world, would you really want to come and work for Mr. Goenka or be part of his team? That's a simple question to ask. It's like in the corporate world. If you're a star performer anywhere outside of the company and you're trying to poach someone, would that person come and work for you if he knows that the CEO, the MD or the chairman is a terrible person to work with, or he's going to give you a dressing down in the open cubicles wherever that he finds you? Not acceptable.
Right. And this is a man who was actually, just a few years ago, owned a team called the Pune franchise called Rising Pune Super Giants, and for which in the first season itself was able to get MS Dhoni as the captain simply because Chennai Super Kings wasn't playing in that season. And just at the end of the first year, he managed to sack MS Dhoni. I mean, this really didn't come out of nowhere, right? At that point in time, MS Dhoni, and from then to now, the greatest captain available in IPL cricket. Sanjiv Goenka is the man who fired MS Dhoni as captain.
Absolutely. So, if you can't recognize cricketing God, then I don't know what to say, because very clearly, if you look at how Dhoni's performed since, if you look at the love that he has in a city like Chennai,
and across the country.
And across the country. Yeah. I'm saying even for Chennai, obviously he's a cricketing team, but he's loved truly for the skill, for the cool head that he brings to the game and the fantastic captaincy that he, delivers match after match. So I think it's a bad judgment in every sense.
And having this conversation, I'm thinking that Mrs. Goenka has a few things to learn about keeping a cool and a calm head from MS Dhoni than the other way around, isn't it?
Absolutely. And to have done this in front of the whole world, I think it just shows poor taste and it shows that you're impulsive and you lack maturity as a team owner.
Yeah. Also, if you can tell us about Sanjiv Goenka and the group, because at the end of the day it was a bifurcated group.
Yes.
Him and his brother. The brother got RPG Enterprises, and then he carved out another company called RPSG, which is Ram Prasad Sanjiv Goenka Enterprises. And strangely, there's a bit of a narcissism involved in it. RPSG was the name of the group. RPSG was the name of the first franchise he got in IPL, which is Rising Pune Super Giants. A weird name just because it can be RPSG. And then he got LSG again, Lucknow Super Giants, again SG to Sanjiv Goenka. Bit of a narcissistic streak, would you say?
Well, I can even excuse that because, the Goenka surname at one point of time was a very powerful, family name. It's a storied business family, which has spawned many great businesses. But unfortunately, if you look at Mr. Goenka's own track record, fine, he's got a net worth of $3 billion today. But if you look at the scale of achievements which his contemporaries have managed, how they gotten into newer industries and the kind of value creation that they managed, I don't think Mr. Goenka has managed to the same extent. So I guess I think it's a missed opportunity in many ways, which I'm sure Mr. Goenka himself is aware of.
And that's what brings me back to the question, how did he end up paying the highest record sum for a sporting franchise? He owns 2 franchises, incidentally. He owns the Lucknow Super Giants in cricket, in IPL, and in ISL he owns the Mohan Bagan franchise as well. Where is the money coming from? I mean, last account he was the 84th richest man according to the Forbes rich list in the country.
So that's not very high. That's not very high. So I think the cash cow very clearly which Mr. Goenka has is his electricity company in Calcutta, which is a monopoly.
Okay.
So I think when you run a monopoly, it's very easy to bring the cash home.
Okay.
When you're not in a competitive market, where, for example, in telecom, where ARPUs are always under stress. Even if you're a Reliance or you're an Airtel or a Vodafone, you're struggling to So if
extremely low margin business.
Exactly. So I think the money is coming in easy. So which probably allowed him to buy this team and invest 7,000 crore in a cricket team.
Right. The only question is that this controversy has raged on for 48 hours right now. It's not gone unmissed. KL Rahul has held his silence, he's yet to say a word about it. In fact, there's a cryptic tweet from a fellow player from the team of Lucknow Super Giants as well. Nothing much is being said apart from what the people are saying. But I'm sure the BCCI is watching.
No, Mohammad Shami has come out and said,
yes,
he's trashed it, saying this kind of behavior is unacceptable, it's shameful.
Yeah,
should never happen on a football, on a cricket field.
Yeah, I would have expected more outrage apart from just Mohammad Shami. But the point here is that everybody's keeping quiet because, there's big monies involved.
Absolutely.
How are you going to find, if you say Sanjiv Goenka has to be out because of this, where are you going to get another 7,000 crore rupee worth bidder coming in for it? So BCCI is watching it. Do you think it's about time BCCI sets ground rules for how owners behave in cricket matches? Because there's so many rules for cricket players. Cricket players can't do a flying kiss. A guy gets banned for giving a flying kiss when he takes a wicket. So much scrutiny about the players' behavior, players setting the right example. So because children are watching, teenagers are watching, they need to be in the right, they play it like a gentleman's game as it's meant to be. So much scrutiny on players. None whatsoever on owners.
Well, to be honest, Krishna, if BCCI had to formulate rules against tantrums and bad behavior by owners, I think that would really be unfortunate, because one would expect the owners to have that maturity, to know that it's a game at the end of it, and no player ever goes onto the field thinking that he's going to not perform today. Everyone goes onto the field thinking I'm going to give it my best. Obviously, there are multiple million things that are going on. And it's the best team and the best person that wins ultimately. And that's the thing we need to accept, and accept with grace.
Yeah.
I think that grace is what team owners need. You push your team to do well, equip them to do well, but if for whatever reason they lose, you accept that, right?
Beautifully put, Shri. Grace is the word that was missing in that 22-second clip.
Absolutely.
And the only thing I have to ask you is that going forward, there needs to be that Lakshman Rekha, that thin red line that goes between. Yes, you want your owners to be passionate about the sport. You don't want an owner who just writes a check and doesn't give a damn about the sport. Yes, we like passionate owners, but there has to be a line drawn when it comes to that passion and expressing that passion, isn't it?
And a good person to do that would actually be the coach. The coach should tell the team owner very clearly that as long as my guys are on the field, it's my job to interact with them. Once they're in the dressing room, feel free to come, have a beer with them, or blow your top, whatever you want to do. But you're not going to do that in front of the whole world, because that's going to demotivate my entire team. People are going to be scared, witless. Next time they go onto the field thinking, okay, what is Mr. Sanjiv going to say if I don't perform well? So you're already creating that a nervousness, that pressure on them,
as if they're not
which
stressed
is not
enough.
Healthy. Healthy pressure is good, but this is unhealthy pressure.
Yeah, as if they're not stressed enough. I mean, they're playing in front of packed audiences. They have their own reputation to keep up. KL Rahul has a reputation to keep up to himself.
Absolutely.
He needs to perform well, whether Sanjiv Goenka is blowing his top off or not.
No, whether it's Sanjiv Goenka or someone else.
He's
got a career to manage.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter to him who's the owner. Next time it could be someone else that he's playing for.
Right, and the one last thing I want to ask with you is this. After something like this, it's very clear that KL Rahul is not going to be staying with Lucknow Super Giants.
I think that's a fairly safe guess to make. Yeah, and like I said, it's going to make it difficult for good talent to come into the team, which is very sad, because ultimately it's Mr. Goenka's own money.
Yeah.
And if he's not able to attract the best talent and turn this into a superb franchise that is going to churn money, fans are going to love, brands are going to want to put money behind it, I mean, he's a loser. It's not any other players. He's actually the real loser. It's not just a match, but he's lost the entire franchise.
Right, not just a match, but the entire franchise. Shri, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on Corporate Cricket Crisis on Business Plus. This controversy is not dying down anytime soon, but we'll see what happens eventually. Now, away from that, what comes on top of your mind when you think of quick commerce platforms like Swiggy, Instamart, Zepto, Blinkit? In most cases, it's getting groceries delivered at your doorstep in a matter of minutes, 10 to 15 maximum. But on this occasion of Akshaya Tritiya, today, quick commerce platforms have stepped up things a notch. You can now buy gold and silver coins from Swiggy Instamart, Zomato's Blinkit, Zepto, Big Basket, you name it, every single quick commerce platform. One of the top quick commerce platforms in India, all of them have partnered with Malabar Gold and Diamonds, which is Swiggy Instamart, as well as Muthoot Exim as well, to provide deliveries of gold and silver coins to their customers. Not just that, Tata Digital-owned Big Basket has partnered with Tanishq, among other brands, for this occasion, and Zepto has collaborated with Neck Jewelry. Overall, all quick commerce platforms are constantly innovating and gearing up to add new products and expanding their portfolio of offerings. On the occasion of Akshaya Tritiya, it has just given the right opportunity to strike gold, if I may. Away from that, to Air India Express, which is experiencing major turbulence as the airline continues to cancel its flights. And on Friday, the 10th of May, around 75 flights have been cancelled. And according to an official, the revenue losses owing to cancellations and compensations are nearly 30 crore rupees now. In the last few days as well, Air India Express international and domestic flights have been cancelled after the airline's cabin crew members reported sick en masse at the last minute and switched off their mobile phones, claiming health issues, effectively bringing operations to a halt. The crew is allegedly protesting against the new employment terms at the now Tata Group-owned airline. The airline first sacked a bunch of them, and then, owing to long-standing negotiations, long mediation process, managed to even reinstate some of the terminations that they did with their airline crew members. We'll have to wait and watch how soon things can return to normalcy at Air India Express. And with that, we've completely run out of time here on this edition of Business Plus. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.
Currently, the industry is facing a lot of challenges as far as demand is concerned. Basically, the US markets has slowed down because of high inflation.
So obviously, diamonds being